starting at 66. As usual, $50,000 Maven count, giving you the best question for 15. Guys, awesome. I like the orange background you have there. It's very Maven fitting for the vibe today.
I planned it just for you.
Yeah, perfect. You planned the sunshine coming in this morning,
Yes.
I think. Yeah, unreal. All right, Christine, I think we met once. Was it through James, potentially? I think you're also associated with ASFX?
Yes.
Or am I mistaken?
That's where I started, and that's where I met James. James was my coach in the BSC club.
Okay.
What feels like 1,000 years ago, but it was
a long time ago. Yeah. Christine came in, she was trading stocks.
Yes. Still trade the stocks.
Yeah, so do I. I love it.
Yeah, can't get away.
Okay, so we'll just start it off with, people might not know who you are. What is your claim to fame here? What are you trading? How long you've been trading? Give them the rundown so that they can get some questions for you,
Sure. I don't think I have a claim to fame. I'm pretty an average person, but I started trading probably like many during the COVID years. I had my second child at the time and I was at home and I wanted to do something. I wanted to make money. So I started trading stocks and that's where I learned to trade. And I was part of a community. I don't know if many people know about Bear Bull community. It's Andrew Aziz. He's a great 5-minute opening range trader. He trades a lot of the big names, Tesla, like that. He used to trade Tesla all the time and QQQ, stuff like that. So that's where I learned. And I spent about a year learning that. And then because I'm a mom and I had two, I think my kids were 1 and 3 at the time, we decided to sell our house, get in an RV and go traveling for 6 months. And I had said, okay, I'm going to trade. Like I'm bringing my laptop. I'll set it up on my little table. And I think I tried that 2 days and it clearly wasn't going to work. So I ended up taking a break from trading for an entire year. I wasn't planning it. It just kind of happened. But it was obviously in the back of my mind. I couldn't let it go. After our RV trip, we decided to move to Mexico, central Mexico at the time. And that's when I picked it back up again. And that's when I met James. So I joined the ASFX community, the Black Shirt Club. And that's when I made the transition from trading stocks to futures. And at the time, the idea was because everyone in that group were trading futures, and it felt like I needed to get the value from learning from all the people doing the same thing. And I also wanted the value from prop firms because, I was trading with my own money and not making a ton of money. I wasn't even losing that much. I only lost like $1,800 my first entire year of trading.
That's it.
That's it.
That's not too bad. Yeah, a lot of people lose like 10,000.
Yeah. I've spent more money on prop firms now. Obviously, I'm into like year 3, so that's grown. But I made the switch to futures, and now that's where I've been. So I started trading ES only, and then probably 5-6 months ago, I switched to NQ. So currently where I'm at, I day trade NQ with prop firms, and then I still swing trade the stocks on the side. And then kind of in there, the other thing that I do is our podcast that you were on, Chris, and James has been on. And that is with 2 other people that I met, Randy and Thomas, through the Black Shirt Club. And we started our own podcast just about like new traders, just casual friends chatting about trading. And we've been doing that it's been a year. We're almost at 52 episodes.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's really what I think your expertise is going to shine here, is that specifically you're just kind of this new trader, right?
Mhm.
You have the experience that a lot of people are kind of currently going through, but you have a
Mhm.
little bit more connection to the inner workings, I suppose, of maybe some of these educators, right? I don't
Yes.
want to use the word guru because I think that has a negative connotation, but
You don't like
educators,
gurus.
yeah, educators can be useful people.
Yes.
Gurus, however, I think
Mhm.
they're a little bit wacky. And so, tell me, you switched stocks,
Mhm.
ES, and Q, right?
Mhm.
And I know a lot of traders, especially when I was a little bit younger, I was always jumping around different pairs, and I was trying to figure out, okay, this one's going to be the one. What like what made you switch? Why are you switching? Why are you staying with certain pairs? Why did you leave certain pairs? You know what I mean? So we can get concrete evidence of why you should stick with something or why you should not.
Mhm. Yeah, this is a good question and something that I thought about a lot. And actually, this has something to do with James, because I remember it was like after our first year of coaching, and then James wasn't my coach anymore. I was like in the graduated BSc. So I was talking to other people, but we had a catch up call. And at this time, I hadn't made a payout. And just for context, I've only made one payout in my entire futures trading, and that was just recent. So he
Nice.
said something along the lines of, I think it was, if you don't make a payout by, I think it was like June 2025 or something,
Mhm.
then you need to change something. And it was the idea of, if I was just doing the same thing over and over again and not getting any results from that in the form of a payout, then I needed to look at what I needed to change. Because, and I think he even said, maybe it's your asset class, maybe it's your strategy. Like you said, James, like a couple things. It's not like you were like, you need to quit trading. It's
Yeah.
just that whatever you're doing for that period, like I've given it
Mhm.
enough time. Like I traded the same strategy, the same asset for over a year, and I
Mhm.
hadn't made a payout. Now, I do think that has to do with myself, and I think that can be the actual person. But I also believe that there is a sweet spot for every individual person, because every personality is different, and you have to figure out there's certain strategies that go better with you. They just do. Like, for example, I started trading VWAP on
Mhm.
futures on ES, and I've tilted from that because I wasn't enjoying it. I wasn't happy. I had sat in over, I think it was like a year and a half of work on that strategy with no real monetary results. So for me, it was almost silly for me not to make a change. Like,
Mhm.
you can't just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. You have to
Yeah.
make some type of change. And sometimes that is a strategy, and sometimes that is an asset. Do I like NQ better? Yes, a lot better. And I
Mhm.
did get a
Why
payout
is that?
from you. I like how it moves. I
Yeah.
always, I could be wrong,
Yeah.
but for me, NQ is like the big boy. Like that is the thing that really moves, especially in our climate now, or at least,
Yeah.
I mean, war is a whole different story. But the tech side of things, to me,
Yeah.
are the big ones that I should be looking at. So, and
That
I
makes
would
sense.
always look at NQ to see what it was doing to then go trade on ES. But why was I doing that? Why wouldn't I just stay on NQ, like actually trade NQ if I was watching NQ anyways? So it was a quick switch, and it was a quick immediate, okay, I like this better. Obviously I have to get used to it. It's a different, when I'm in a trade, I'm not looking for 10 points on NQ anymore like I was on ES. So I've had to learn that, and I'm still in that process, because I think sometimes you get into NQ and you think you want 200 points every day, but that's not actually the case.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. James,
Yeah.
what
So
was the time that you gave her? How much time did you give her until she needed to change?
it was Christine. We worked together for about 4 months, and then we still stayed in contact. Because again, like she was still pretty new to the whole futures. Like you can't just do something for 2 months and be like, oh, I'm quitting or changing. Like just like anything, it takes time to. For me, at least, in my opinion, it takes time to develop into a really good trader that can make money consistently in the markets. You don't just start doing something and 3 months later you're making $1,000 a day. It doesn't work like that. So I especially for like newer traders, because Christine came from the stock trading, it was obviously a lot more newer to her, different. I think like giving it something like a good year, and if you don't see any like success from there, then you do need to, I think, make a change from there. But and then after that, we also spoke about trading like your own personal cash account as well, Christine, compared to prop firms, because prop firms can sometimes have tight rules. Specifically, the futures firms have like the lower drawdowns and the trailing drawdowns. So, I thought it was a good year before we even started to make any adjustments.
Yeah, and that's one of the other things I switched was account sizes.
Sure.
I didn't end up trading my personal capital on futures. I still have not done that, partly because I think, my problems are not going to be magically fixed by going to trade my personal capital. I think a lot of people, I've talked to people that said, okay, you have problems in the prop firms. Okay, trade your personal capital.
And it doesn't work. Yeah.
Your problems are still going to be your problem.
You're probably going to lose more because of 50. Yeah.
Yes. And I literally thought that. I was like, okay, if I'm going to spend $500 on an account, I'm probably going to trade on NQ. I can lose $500 the first day on my personal account that easily. So for me, I chose to stay with prop firms, but I did go to higher accounts. And that's what I did end up getting my payout on, was a bigger account. I think it was a 150K. So now, like currently I'm trading 100K versus in the beginning, I was always on the 50Ks because I thought they were cheaper and I wanted to, buy more and all that stuff. So that's another change, like a little change that I made.
You found more success on larger accounts?
Yes, just because the drawdown was bigger. Because I am not, and a lot of people are not, consistent enough to last over a long period of time. And I think, Chris, we talked about this on our podcast. Like sometimes the best ways to get payouts is to really capitalize on your hot periods, on those periods that you're doing really, really well. But those periods comes with times that you don't do well. And if you don't have enough of a drawdown to last through that, then you don't really keep accounts. Then you have to blow that account and buy a new one. So I like it because I'm not consistently great all the time. That's my biggest thing. My consistency in a lot of different areas is not on point. So I need a little bit more room for those bad times, essentially.
Okay. Oh, we have a rather relatable question to what we're talking about right now from Argasu, pronunciation. But as a new trader, do you think trading multiple assets or sticking to one is better?
I generally lean towards one. However, I do think from 1 to 3 is probably a good idea, because even though I trade one, it's not like I'm blind to the Mag 7, for example, or it's not like I never look at ES or YM, for example. So let's use futures. If you want to trade NQ, you might be casually glancing at ES and YM every so often. So is it that big of a deal for you to say, sure, trade those 3 assets and just look for the one that has your best setup? For sure, that's possible. I've chosen just one. So I think 1 to 3 is a really good place to be.
Sure. I like that response, because then it allows you to jump around in case there's no good setup.
Yeah, because go ahead, James.
No, sorry, Christine. I'd like to also touch on, I agree with what Christine says. I personally, Hunter, I mainly trade NQ, but like today, the last 2 days, I've traded YM. So for me, what I like to do with the indexes, Chris, is that, like, let's say I'm long biased on the indexes. I will look to buy the strongest index. So let's say YM is showing the more relative strength today. I might want to rather buy that over than an NQ that could be lagging because maybe Tesla's putting it down or whatever. And I actually do something very similar to Christine, where I day trade the indexes, but I swing trade stocks. So I'm in quite a few longs right now on stocks and that. But I think that for me last year, I was trying to do a bit too much. I was trying to day trade stocks and indexes. But right now, I've just been day trading the stocks and swing trading, like where I'm holding for like maybe a couple weeks, maybe a couple months on individual stock names, and then getting in and out of those positions, but actually physically buying the stock, not using leveraged positions on them. Like I'll put 10 grand into a stock or whatever it is, and so forth. So I actually like what Christine does. I think it also narrows down your focus. If you're trying to trade too much, it can also distract you from actually executing, and that, that's at the end of the day, that's what matters.
Yeah.
Now you said, if your setup's not there, sort of thing, right? You jump to another one. So I got a question earlier. What does an A+ setup look like to you? What are you looking for?
So
optimal.
I have this, and I'll preface with this. When I switched from VWAP trading to more level trading, I am now in a place where I need to figure that question out, because that's one question that I don't have really an answer to. Like, to tell you my A+ setup, I'd probably have to list like 5 of them, and that's too many. Like, I know that that's too many. Right now, I trade with the pre-market levels from the night before, and I trade with the 15-minute opening range, and I use overnight VWAP and New York VWAP. And it kind of sounds like a lot, which it is, but I've had all this information from all these strategies over the last 2 years in my mind. And I think I'm at the point to where I need to amalgamate them and kind of whittle that down a little bit. So for the past 2 days, my A+ setups have been New York VWAP, the anchored VWAP off New York Open, a bounce, a retest of that, and then I go long. I've gone long the last 2 days. So for me, that has been my A+ setup. But in a market where we're in a bit more of like a range, where we have been the past previous like few months, then I really like retests, sweeps and reversals. I do like those a lot, and I tend to gravitate towards those. But obviously those don't always work. Nothing works all the time. So I'm in a place where I have to get a better answer to that question. But I do think that can be relatable, because I have a feeling there's a few people like that. And I think it happens a lot when we get so much information in our brain. We can trade anything. Like, I can trade, apart from ICT, because I don't know any of that, but I have so many strategies and so many types of trades. Like, at any given point, I can probably talk myself into taking a trade. But what I really need to do now is to have that A+ trade that I'm taking consistently and always.
So you said you can talk yourself into a trade, and I know a lot of traders relate to that. They're always looking for the trade, right? And you can get into a trade at any time for any reason. Doesn't have to be right. What sort of methodologies do you follow that allow you to not take those, greedy trades, those FOMO trades?
So the thing that helps me, so I'm not on the desk a lot. So just by that, I don't have all day to sit here and take 1,000 trades a day. I have 2 kids. I have a life. I don't like sitting here watching the charts all day. So I trade from New York Open, 9:30 EST, to about 11 o'clock. So that's, an hour and a half. So even by limiting my time on the desk, I've limited how much I can put myself into the market. And obviously, I do have some criteria, even though I can take a lot of different trades, unless it's hitting overnight level and it's sweeping those lows or highs and having a reaction, then I'm most likely not taking it. Like, I don't take high of day breaks. I don't take those types of things. Like, I know what they are, but I don't take those all. Obviously, I have a stop loss, like a loss limit on my accounts. And I also tend to like to only take one trade. So if I have a winning trade, my interest is lost and I literally walk away.
Interesting. Do you find the exact opposite if you take a loser, though?
Yes, of course. Of course. I got to get that back. I can't just let it stand.
I remember now, James, I don't know if you ever played some video games. You
I
ever
have,
play like
yes.
Call of
I've also
Duty?
played sports video games, but I do play
Yeah.
video games. Yeah.
So when you're matching up for a video game and it's like one-on-one, and you take this is what I'm relating to. I used to play StarCraft competitively, and if I got one winner, I'd be done because I'd be satisfied. But if I took a loser, I just keep going.
Yeah,
You know?
it is like that. 100%. Yeah.
Like you have to end on a winner.
Yeah.
Okay, right on.
But it can be bad and good, right? Like I can get into the zones where if I take a loss, I will walk away, but I'm never trying to push myself from that.
Sure.
Like just because you have one bad trade doesn't mean you couldn't have another good trade, obviously. And if you take the loss and you walk away and you don't try, it's like you've lost the will to trade, then that can kind of hurt you in some ways. But obviously can go the opposite way if you try to get your loss back and it just gets deeper and deeper. So it's a hard one to balance.
Yeah, so I'm mostly hearing you have a life outside of trading though.
I do.
Right?
I do have a
Yeah.
life outside of trading. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I think that's one of the major pain points is people they want to be a trader so bad that they think the solution to being a good trader is putting all your time into it. And the funny thing we see time and time again from all these people on the podcast, James, myself, Austin, whatever, you do an hour and like then you're done. Like
100%. I agree with that.
The sweet spot's an hour.
Yeah, you take your trade, you be done, you go do other stuff like podcasts. And I think a lot of people get into trading, and this was also detriment. I mean, I had trading as my only source of income for 2 years, and I would sit there trying to trade all day. It can be brutal, bro. Like you make money in the morning and then you give it back in the afternoon, and it can be very, 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 very mentally draining. Let's say that. And I find when I trade at my best, and I don't know about you, Christine, you can maybe speak about it as well, but I take one or two trades, I'll done by 12 Eastern time, hopefully even 11 Eastern time, and then I'm done for the day and I go do other things.
Yeah. No, yeah. Especially when you have, I'm a mom. So like if my kids call, like if they're sick and they don't go to school that day, my husband works full time. Like I'm the one taking that time off.
Yeah.
So I have to be not so involved with trading that I can't do that, because the whole point of me to trade was to be flexible, was to have time freedom. So I can't treat it like a lock and key. I can't treat it like a 9 to 5. I can't. I often think my progress has been slowed because of that. But at the same time, I have a long career ahead of me. I don't need to be making millions of dollars today. I have the time. I'm invested. I do it every day, and sometimes I don't because my kids or I want time off or whatever. But it might be different for me just because I am the mom and my husband works the 9 to 5. Like I get it if you're like the breadwinner man. I don't know if that's anti-feminist of me to say, but if you're the man and you make most of the money, then yes, a lot of your time is going to be committed to that, and I get that. But that's not my situation.
So you value the freedom that trading offers much more than the money that it offers.
Way more. Yeah.
Yeah. There's two kind of traders I notice. Is like the trader who wants to live their life, right? And they do trading just for a means to have more time. And then there's the trader that they want the Lambo, right? And they do trading so that they can get millions, right? And you just literally said, I don't need millions today, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, like
if it comes.
Yeah. The thing about trading is when my kids are grown and out of the house, like think about all the time I'm going to have then.
Yeah.
Like I'm learning the skill now, but in 10, 15 years, me sitting down at the desk for 2 hours is going to be so incredibly easy. And I'll be in a place where it's probably going to be easier for me to make money as well. Yeah. When I'm 80, maybe I still want to dabble in the stocks. Why not? It's not like a physically hard job. It's me opening up my laptop, sitting on the beach somewhere, pressing a couple buttons. So it's a long-term thing.
I like how you included the beach.
Yeah, of course, always.
The beach in Canada. I think you need to come to South Africa for that, you guys.
No, this is why I live in Mexico.
True. Yeah.
So it's good longevity.
I'll say something that maybe is a bit disagreeing with that, Hunter. I'm not going to lie. I trade for the money, but it's not because of the money. I trade for the money so that I can do what I want when I want. So money gives you the ability to be able, like today, I went to go see a friend and we're chatting trading and whatever. He's trying to get into it. So I was helping him out, you know? And then I went and spent time with my son, and then I went to gym and then spent time with my wife. I do trade to make money, but it's not to buy things. Like, I don't care about buying massive things and massive this and that. I trade for money, but it's to be able to do what I want when I want, not to look like a gangster rapper with diamond girls.
Would you take the same like salary if someone gave you a 9 to 5 and they gave you the same salary as what you make? Would you take it?
No.
So it's like, it's money, but it's also time.
It's
money in such little time.
Yes, it's make money so in my time that I can do whatever I want throughout. Like for me, I don't do anything until 2 p.m. I can chill in the morning, go to gym, spend time with the family, and then the US market opens at 3:30 South African time. So I do that. I work hard and make money trading so I can chill and not have to go into an office and that type of thing. So, you know, I think what you do with the money is more important than how you make it or what you do to make it. Yeah.
Ironically, I think we have 3 different approaches for why we trade. I trade because I have to beat the game. To me, it is a game.
I like that too. I also have that mindset. Like, you want to win the game. Yeah, I like that.
It's the most difficult game in the world. And for some reason, I can't figure it out.
And to say you can do it. Yeah, to say you can beat it. Yeah, I agree. I like that too, like the competitive side of things, 100%.
So maybe that's my problem. I don't have that. I don't need to beat it. I just want to take like a bit of it. You know?
I think it's more of a male thing that we have to dominate something. We have to win something, right? Especially, James totally knows if you're a rugby player, right?
Yeah, 100%, bro. When I go into the rugby field, you want to dominate the other guy. You don't want to. I agree. But it's the same as trading. It's like a game that you want to win. But I think that is also the cool thing about trading. But I think it's a journey, and Christine still, like, I think also, Christine, you've been trading specifically futures. You've been trading now for what, 3 years?
I think coming on 3 years, yeah.
So you wouldn't even have completed your degree yet if you were in a university. So a lot of people, and I was actually chatting to he's my friend's dad. So he's obviously in his 50s, and he's trying to get into trading, and he's seeing it and everything. He's like, James, it looks easy. And I started laughing. I was like, just you wait until you start to have to execute and stuff like that, because it takes time. But just like anything in life, people quit after 6 months. If, like Christine's at 3 years, it's like that 10,000 hours, right, Chris? Once you start to get good, you go exponential growth. And if you can stay in the long haul long enough, that's where you start to see and trading is the hardest way to make easy money. Like, you can sit down, click a couple buttons in 10 minutes, make $1,000, and then go chill on the Mexico beach all day. That's why I love trading.
Yeah, and like, I really can't stress enough that everybody is different. They all take different amounts of time. Like, I started with people that are now making consistent payouts. I know people that are making crazy amounts of money, like $100,000 payouts in the first quarter of this year. And then, there's people like me. I've made $2,500, my one and only payout. And it just takes different varying amounts of time. And trying to compare yourself to someone else is really detrimental. I've had that. I do that sometimes because I think, well, why am I not making more consistent payouts? Why am I not this person making money all the time? So you can't compare yourself because it's all so different.
Agreed. And everyone sees the markets too.
So I got a bit of a question. We're going to change it slightly, but tell me how you got your first payout.
I can tell you exactly how I got my first payout. So I went to Top Step. Are we allowed to talk about Top Step on here?
You're allowed to mention prop firms. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Just everyone needs to know that Maven is the preferred one.
Got it.
Should have gone to Maven.
I'm so sorry. It was not
But we don't need to pretend like there's not competition.
Got it. Okay, so this is how I got my first
Wants to
payout.
dominate Top Step. That's why.
Yeah, exactly.
I went to Top Step. I bought 4 combines. Out of those 4 combines, I passed 3 of them in 2 or 3 days. Out of those 2 funded accounts, I continued to trade the same size. So this is very aggressive. This was my most aggressive plan I've ever traded. This is not me normally. So I continued the same size as I did in the combines, which was way too high. Like my going to the funded, I was either going to lose them in 2 days or I was probably going to get a payout. So I continued to trade the same size and I got 2 of those accounts up past $2,500. I think one of them was $4,500 I made in 2 days. And then from there, I did 4 $150 days just to get myself to the pay, just to check all the boxes. So on one of those accounts, I was able to take out $2,500 because I was at a 5K balance. And the other account, I think I blew like the following days. So out of 4 combines, 3 made it to funded, and I was able to take 1 payout on one of them. So that's
okay,
how,
awesome.
yeah.
So you went quick through it.
Yes.
Yeah, as quick as possible.
As quick as possible. And now this is coming from someone that had spent the 3 months up to that in a combine.
Yeah.
I was not aggressively trading, so this was a bit of a
You spent
strategy.
3 months with the reoccurring subscriptions?
Yes. Yes.
James, new traders band.
Yeah.
You could have just blown it and then bought a new one.
I know, but I was trying to trade consistently. I was trying not to be silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the things that people tell you.
That's how they get you with the subscription scam.
All wins.
Right.
Yeah.
So I need to balance now somewhere between trading so aggressively that, you know, it's just too much and not trading 3 months in a combine, essentially.
This is it's interesting because, you know, I honestly advocate speed because the less time you spend trading combines, the less time you spend trading challenges, and the quicker you get to that funded phase. Once you're funded, it's easy, right? Because you just kind of go for the minimums, you take the payouts, and you keep churning them as quick as possible, right?
Sure.
But the issue is so many new traders, that's terrible advice because you just go crazy and just bet aggressively and you blow an account immediately, and you just keep gambling, right? So it's interesting you're saying find that balance. Now, I guess the question might be like, you know, how did you properly, like, did you approach this in the, hey, I'm just going to go haywire and go aggressive? Or is it going to be, am I looking for the number one setup and I'm just going to go as hard as I can? Like, how did you approach that time in your mind?
A little bit of both. I was clearly, was able to read the market well. The trades that I were trading was working really well. So it was really taking advantage of that hot period of when you're kind of, you can just see the right trades. You're in a really patient zone. You're taking the right setup. So, and on top of that was trading with size. And I think, I'm trying to remember when it was, but we were in a time of enough volatility that I didn't even need to do crazy size. Like I think one of them, I was only trading 10 micros. So it wasn't like crazy, you know, it was just that time in the market that price was really moving. So
10 micros is pretty big for, is it 150K?
No, it was, I guess it was 150K. Yeah, it was 150K.
It's pretty big.
I should have.
One mini is all you would ever need.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah. But of course, when you're in that zone of trying to get a payout, and I was hurting myself by wanting a payout so bad. And I think we all do this when you haven't had a payout. The goal of a first payout is so big in your mind. It actually can take over your whole like trading outlook. I wanted a payout so bad. Like I hang around, well, all the ASFX people, they're all making payouts daily. They're all coaching people. They're all making this like crazy money. Like I see this all the time. And I was sitting here thinking, I just want one payout. I just want a payout. And so everything that I had always went into that mindset. And it's not a good mindset. Obviously, it was a big relief when I finally did get a payout. But, and I see this a lot too, there's little waves of how your trader journey goes. And it used to start as trying to pass a combine. You pass a combine and then you find yourself in a little dip, a bit of a struggle, because then you need to try to get a payout. You finally get a payout, and then you again find yourself in a little dip because the transition from getting one payout to consistent payouts is a whole nother thing. So I'm in that place where, okay, I've accomplished my one payout that I wanted so very badly. But now I need to figure out how to make consistent payouts so that this can turn into an actual job.
I think from a perspective, Christine, of like I just want to take a payout, you know, and then you take the payout and then it's like, oh, I'm done. But like trading has no like finish line as a trader. Right. Like you always got to be, you know, on it, and the goalposts are always going to move because now you're taking the payout and you're like, okay, well, now I want consistent payout. So
yes,
like I always try and focus on like one day at a time. Like I don't have any expectations I could win or lose today, but I'm just trying to take have a good day and one good day at a time. Whether it's I win or lose, but I think that's helped a lot as well, my side. I think helps a lot of new traders too. Sorry,
for sure. I think sometimes I want to be able to put myself in that mindset, but when you haven't made a payout, it's almost like that idea of trying to get the first payout just clouds over everything. You honestly can't think straight because you're on the other side of making money. You know, you've made money. You've almost got, so you have this amazing mindset about it. But before you get to that point, I feel like our minds for the newer traders are a little bit more chaotic.
Yeah.
So you think your mindset completely changed after that one payout? Now it's, instead of your goal, you had a goal, and now you have a practice sort of thing where you have to.
Yeah, I kind of realized that my goal was stupid. You know, the goal shouldn't have ever been just get a payout. Like that wasn't the thing that I should have been obsessing over.
Yeah, you can easily get a payout. You just got to spend a ton of money.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And I see people put so much more money into prop firms where I'm just like not putting enough. And I literally thought maybe I just need to spend more money, you know, just to make $2,500. It's like, it's so backwards.
So what's your preferred approach now of approaching prop firms? Is it more the slower approach, or do you make your, so do you trade as if you were trading on your personal account on a prop firm, or do you trade it as if it's this churnable sort of event where you're just trying to get as many payouts as fast as possible?
I struggle with that. It hurts when I lose accounts, unfortunately. You know, my mind goes into the place of like, how could you lose that? You're dumb or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
It's not the mindset I want. And logically, if I think about it, I understand if I buy this amount of combines and I can get one and then it covers the cost, like I get that there's a business there and I could probably think about it more logically. The problem is that I don't. So it still hurts. So I can't turn and churn like other people. So I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. After I got my payout, I continued with combines, but I found myself failing them. Like I couldn't even pass a combine for a little while. So I took a break. I think I didn't trade for a couple of weeks, and that was partly life and kids and whatever. And I've learned it's okay. The market's always there. Like I'm going to wake up and the market's still going to be there. So it's okay to take a break.
It sucks when there's that huge move though. And you're like, I knew that was going to happen.
It was awesome. And that always happens. Every single time I take a break.
Every day.
Crazy. Yeah.
Every day there's a move.
Yes. So now I've actually gone back to funded because I was just tired of combines, and I do trade it as
instant funded.
Instant funded. Yeah.
Yeah.
As close to a personal account as possible. I don't think it's possible because I've traded props for too long. It's like trading, when you trade paper trading for too long, you don't care about it. But I trade it as close.
Yeah, I don't think it makes any sense to day trade a personal account at this point. Like zero sense.
I agree. I was speaking to my friend's dad today. I was saying like, listen, Uncle Andy, you can throw. He has his money saved. I was like, you can throw 100 grand into a trading account, but you could lose that 100 grand. Whereas you could allocate 5 grand in your first year to buying prop firm accounts, and the max you can lose is 5 grand. Cool. You mess up all the accounts, the max you're going to be down is 5 grand. Whereas if you put that 100 grand into a trading account, I can guarantee you that you'll lose more than 10.
You'll lose all of it. You'll lose all of it if you're trading your own.
Most probably.
If you're just starting.
Yeah.
If you're just starting.
Yeah. If you're just starting. Yeah. So I think prop firms are the best thing to happen to retail traders. Personally,
the better approach is put that 100 grand into a long-term swing account, stock, right? Then you take out 5 grand.
Oh, Bitcoin, Hunter. I'm loading up on Bitcoin.
Yeah. You take out 5 grand, you blow it on prop firms, you learn how to trade, and then you come back to your personal account. And your personal account's worth 200 grand now.
Exactly. Especially if you buy Bitcoin, then it's going to be up. It's going to be up to the moon.
Yeah. Okay, right on. And let's talk about. I got a question from Ruthless. Do you think traders fail because of lack of mentorship, or because they're not applying skills that are just kind of common knowledge?
I don't think it's mentorship. I do feel like there is a place for mentorship, and I do feel that it can be helpful. But I've gone through a number of mentors, and no one has been able to make me consistently profitable, because the only person that can make me consistently profitable is myself.
Yeah.
So I don't care how many mentors you do have. If you can't do it on your own, no one's going to make you do it. No one's going to get you there. They can help. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm a proponent of mentorship, of coaches, of people to talk to, of trading friends. Like I think that community is so important. But I know now, having gone through a number of mentors, that like, look at James, he's extremely profitable, and he was my first mentor. It's me. I'm the issue. So you have to be the one that makes yourself profitable, essentially.
It comes down to the trader. I mean, the harsh reality of trading, and many people don't want to hear this, but it is the truth. Trading is not for everyone. It definitely isn't. And you got to give it the time of day. And if you really, like, for example, I had someone that said he was trading for 25 years and still wasn't able to make money doing it. Dude, you probably should stop. Like, not to be rude, but like, I would say give yourself like the same as a degree. Give yourself a good 4 to 5 years. If you still can't see, like, you may even make like $500 to $1,000 a month after 4 years, five years maybe, then maybe you need to think about maybe stopping and just rather buying long-term stocks and holding. You'll make more money doing that. So it's not for everyone. That is the truth. Everyone loves to do it because you can click a couple of buttons, go to the beach after winning money, but it's not for everyone, and you have to put the time and effort in. But
So what sort of practices that you said, mentorship isn't the thing that got you. It's you with yourself sort of thing. Is there any actionable practices that you took under yourself to mentor yourself that would be relatable to the audience that they could also do?
So I'm trying to think of something good here, but I think the thing that I've done.
Just give them bad advice if you can't think of anything good.
Recently, I reprioritized. So I wrote out a list of what was going to come first for me. And at the top of the list was my husband, my kids. The second was my health. So if there was a workout class that was smack dab in the middle of the New York Open, I was going to go to the workout class because that was my priority. Trading actually came third. So if all those other things were good, and let's say my daughter didn't wake up and she didn't want extra time with me that day, okay, I can go trade because I have the time and it's third on my list, and that's kind of gone down the checklist. But if anything else that was above that comes up, I give priority to that. And it's not easy to see the effect of that right away. Obviously, it's not like all of a sudden I was making thousands of dollars every day, but I know that positive effect I'll be able to see that over the long term. And I think that will make or break my entire trading career, because you can burn yourself out really easily with trading, I think, because you can get so invested in it and you can put everything on it. And if you put everything on trading, like how is your life? How is your day to day? That must feel horrible. If all of your life is wrapped up in if you win or lose a trade, like that's crazy. So for me, a big help was reprioritizing where trading actually is. And it happens to be third on my list.
Okay. It's actually really good advice. Even for myself, because so often I'm like 6 a.m. I want to be trading,
Of course.
6 a.m. is my market open, right? So I'm on West Coast and 6:30, right?
Yep.
And realistically, I gotta sleep should be a priority.
Yes.
Otherwise I'm not going to be performing well. I'm not going to be performing well for Maven. And I'm sure it goes insane slowly over time. Like if I'm not sleeping properly, right? And it's just interesting, it's like why we're always thinking, why am I not doing better? Why am I not pushing harder? Right. But the reality is what you're saying is maybe my family's more important, maybe my health's more important. Right.
Yeah. Christine, you're gonna have to give me some tips. I got the second one on the way now too.
You do?
No way.
Gosh. How old's your first one?
He's 14 months.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I'm gonna have 2 under 2. So you definitely have to give me some tips on how to manage that better.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
I wonder. I don't think we don't have many people with kids probably watching. But just quickly before that's surprising.
You'd be surprised how many people have kids at home that trade.
Well, majority of our viewers are in the early 20s.
Oh my gosh, I'm so old. Why am I on
my
here?
early 20s too, Hunter, but I was early to start.
Yeah, most people learning trading are between 18 and 25.
Okay, I am so sorry I talked about my children to everyone that does not have them.
Yeah,
I apologize.
Yeah, it's funny. It's such a weird industry because the gurus that get the most attention are like the 20-year-olds because people aspire to be them. But the reality is there is no chance in hell that you're going to be mentally adapt to be able to be that profitable that young, right? You have to wait till you're like close to 30 before you're going to be able to even be stable, right? And the best traders in the world are like 35 to 40, right? And it's interesting because I feel being in my 30s, I feel like a geriatric in this industry teaching year-old kids.
Yeah, I'm 41, so I'm like uber geriatric.
That's why Hunter has me on the streams. I'm in my 20s. He's got to balance it out.
Yeah,
you have the old person on.
Yeah.
No, it's the greatest thing is, I wouldn't want to bring on somebody who's, unless they're openly saying, hey, I'm brand new and something interesting happened to me and they have a story, right?
Yeah.
There's no chance I would bring on a 20-year-old, right? Because they would not be able to give any sort of life advice that would actually be helpful for some of these other guys, right? That are aspiring to be something, right?
I agree. You can't take advice from a guy that's 22 and
you're also 22. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's shocking. That's quite funny, actually.
I know. I always envy the 20-year-olds because I just feel like you guys all have so much time ahead of you. Like I started learning trading in my late 30s, but you're at 20. Like you have literally 20 years to get to where I am just starting to learn now. Like think about where you're going to be in 20 years. It's going to be crazy. And if I was 20 trying to learn how to trade, I would prioritize learning how to trade in as little time and as movable as possible. Meaning if I can travel the world and make enough money to buy, my hotel in Thailand while I trade for 20 minutes a day, do that. Like figure that out, because that is a skill you could use for the rest of your life. To me, you guys have so much potential ahead of you. I really sound like I'm 80, but I do get excited for the 20-year-olds because they have so much time and so much possibility.
So you would advise somebody who's young to just focus on living as cheap as possible, going somewhere, that they can just lock in for a few years, right?
Yes.
And
learning how to trade in as little time as possible. So
Yeah.
honestly, to me, it leans more to swing trading
Mhm.
because you can spend so much less time on it. When you're
Mhm.
trading, day trading, I find it harder and you have to spend more time learning it. And you do need to spend your hour or two a day. Whereas
Mhm.
when you're swing trading, what are we talking? Like 20 minutes? 20 minutes a day? And that might be too much, like on an
Yeah.
iPad. Yeah.
I mean, to wake up this morning, I was getting my coffee this morning at 6:30 and wandered over to the chart. I looked at the chart. I said, "Oh, QQQ is up. I guess I'll close some of that position." Right?
Yeah.
And then I went and did some exercise. That was my trading day so far.
Yes. And that is what it should be. Like yesterday, I was looking at a Google position. I did not pull the trigger. I should have done it.
Yeah.
But I was trying to be cautious, so I didn't do it. But for example, I think I might have made $600 if I
Mhm.
closed out, today.
Mhm.
So if you can figure that out, and then you can spend your free time learning futures or learning day
Mhm.
trading with prop firms, like that's the perfect scenario. Learn how to make money in as little time as possible, and then spend the rest of your time trying something that you want to learn. It doesn't even have to be trading, it could be anything else, but travel, enjoy your
Mhm.
life, like build up your bank account, do
Having
whatever
children.
investing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just having as many children as possible.
No, don't have any children yet. Wait.
I'm going for 5. I'm going for 5.
Oh my
Five is the
goodness,
goal, man.
you've started
You're
with
you're
2.
way ahead of me.
Yeah.
Christine, okay, so one last question here. For all the youngsters out there, the young whippersnappers, right?
Young babies.
And they all want it quick, and we're talking about learning trading quickly, living cheap. They all want that wealth quick. What sort of advice would you have for them that could maybe help them take it slow? Experience enjoy the process and plan for, that when they're 30, everything's set instead of trying to be set by, 21 with a Lambo and, Miami penthouse.
My advice is probably going to be bad. I was a late starter,
Yeah.
I didn't, if you're 20 and you're thinking about these things, you're already so far than what I was. All I can say is you won't care about the stuff that you think you care about when you're 30, that you think you're going to care about. Like when you're 35, you're not looking at Lambos anymore. You're looking at vans or SUVs. Like think about that. And I know you're cringing. You're literally saying to yourself, I am never going to have a van. But those doors open.
Christine,
they open on their own.
Christine, there's a Urus, all right? There's a Lambo van.
Oh my gosh, there is? Oh, correct. I'm get that. But you're not going to care about the stuff that you think you care about now. And for me, I just think enjoyment, like you should be enjoying your life right now. Like to have stress when you're 21 that stuff's going to come later. So
yeah, Christine, is so true. I just got engaged to Amanda, and then it was like maybe two weeks before my wedding. I was sitting with her cousin, he must have at the time been about 33, and he is a successful entrepreneur and so forth. And we were watching a movie together, just him and I. And he said to me, James, enjoy your time now because life's only going to get more busy. And it's so true. Like as soon as you get married, have kids, and you start getting older, and you go, it just gets more busy. So, and I didn't have any worries then. Now it's like you got to worry about, oh, geez, Beckham needs new shorts. Okay, I need to go get him new shorts. Okay, geez, the aircon needs to be, serviced and stuff like that. So, yeah,
silly
so
stuff.
true. Yeah, silly stuff, but it has to be done.
But yeah, I think being grateful for where you're at right now is a huge one too. Like just be grateful for the place that you're at and the time that you have ahead of you. And I'm still grateful. Like I'm older, obviously, but I'm still so grateful that I get to do this every day, that I have my kids, that I live in Mexico, like all these things. They're all amazing things. And no, I'm not making crazy amounts of money, but I'm very happy with where I'm at, and I look forward to making crazy amounts of money. That's all I can say.
Awesome.
Yeah.
With that, I think we'll end it there. Guys in the Discord, Maven, discord.gg/Maven. I posted the winner of the 50K account. I've also posted the link to Christine's Instagram page. Is there anything else you want to plug there, Christine, before we let you go?
I guess my podcast, if you guys want to listen to just new traders, and we have a lot of guests on as well. So there's different traders that have lots of experience. Some have no experience. Some are on social media, some are not. So there's tons of different conversations. And if you feel a little lonely sometimes in your trading journey, that's what that podcast is for, to just kind of turn it on and feel like you're in a room of other traders chatting about stuff. So yeah, that is Behind the Charts podcast on YouTube and Spotify, I think. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay, thank you so much, Christine. Okay,
thank you so
we
much.
do this every single
thanks,
Tuesday. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks so much for joining.
Yes,
Ciao.
sir.